Hey guys, it's JonTaun from Brohammer, and as you can see, we got the mighty Karl Franz here today, as well as an Empire Captain. And these two are going to be accompanied by a lovely Jade Wizard, as well as 4 great swords, a spearman, 2 flagellants, 2 Reichsguard, one over here and one over here, and we got 2 outriders in the back here. First thing I'm going to have them do is come start shooting at these long-bearded great weapons. So as you can see, we're fighting the Dwarfs today, and they have gone very wide. Lots of blasting charges. So, it looks like they have some minor blasting charges over here, over here, over here, over here. Oh man, there's like 4 minor blasting charges. There's like 6 minors. He's got 2 iron breakers. He's got these longbeards with great weapons. He's got a cannon, an organ gun, and 2 thunders, it looks like, as well as some longbeards. Yeah, he's got a very large army, and this is going to be difficult for the Empire to deal with. So over here, as you can see, I'm shooting at his longbeard's great weapons, so we're doing some really good damage. I'm going to have these guys concentrate them on them as well. He's shooting at me with his cannon, but I'm not too worried about. It's just, I can't avoid it, so. And I'm slowly going to be pushing up with my army here, so we'll speed it up just a little bit. These guys are just going to be falling back, shooting, falling back, shooting. As you can see, we're doing great damage to these longbeards with great weapons. So, I'm just going to start engaging across the front line here. I'm going to pull these spearmen back, hoping to, I guess just to take away the charge most of these guys. You can see the blasting charges are going into these great swords and just doing an immense amount of damage. Let's go ahead and slow that down here. Oh yeah, that is not good for my Empire soldiers. Just in flames, in flames. So, not great for me. It's over here is getting pretty chaotic. Let's go ahead and get another volley. We got organ gun fire coming in over here, and it's not going well for the Empire. It usually doesn't against the Dwarfs. Anyway, let's kick it back into full gear. These great swords are going to be running into these miners, but as you can see, they've already been absolutely destroyed by the organ gun and the blasting charges. Got some more blasting charges going over here, but we are engaging across the line, trying to pull these great swords out to get them through. As you can see, I've split up my Karl Franz, Jade Wizard, and my Empire Captain, just going around and taking out and stopping their what are these guys called? Thunderers from firing. As you can see, these blasting charges are doing a lot of friendly fire though, so it's not all bad. Have these spearmen, I'm going to send them up against these iron breakers. Not the best volleys. They're still throwing at these great swords, so that volley was pretty much wasted there. These great swords are firing okay. These great swords are seemingly stuck on nothing. And I am going to be sending them this way. That organ gun is just doing an amazing amount of damage. I see he's got his lord back here, so I'm just going to pounce on him with some great swords. Karl Franz, the Jade Wizard, and the Empire Captain. What I'm going to do here, as you can see, I got all Karl Franz's abilities active. And I also, which are AoE, so they're affecting these guys. So I'm doing a ton of damage to his lord here. As you can see, I got my Reichsguard just running around in the back. I'm going to throw him on these thunderers that are open. As you can see, he's going to try to do an attack order on these great swords, but he gets the bug, so these guys just decide to get into melee combat. I have my Reichsguard just skirting around these miners and longbeards. I did get engaged with those guys for too long, so that was bad on my part. I had these outriders jump on these organ guns to stop that from firing. As you can see, is that the cannon still firing? We're all over that cannon, strange. As you can see, we got his lord routing off. I'm going to pull back these Reichsguard. And again, I have these Reichsguard run from these Thunderers into the front line to do some damage to these Iron Breakers. But Iron Breakers are so tough. Thankfully for me, though, these Spearmen are just being beasts at just holding out forever. I'm just running around with my Outriders over here. I'm going to start shooting at these guys in the back and avoiding these guys. Going to be bringing my Reichsguard around to get some charges over here. As you can see, these Iron Breakers are wasting their time with Flagellants, which is what Flagellants are for. Over here, we are taking out... Oh, I forgot to mention that he had a Master Engineer, but we are taking him out now. And his Thunderers still have that bug, so they're still trying to get in melee. Goes to my Reichsguard after his organ gun. And as you can see, these Spearmen are fighting valiantly for the Empire. Look at these guys. They're fighting fucking Iron Breakers. Thankfully, these Iron Breakers got that bug where they don't fully engage. So, there's only a couple of them. If they were actually engaging, things would be going much worse. Been shooting at these miners in the back. These guys do catch up to me, but thankfully, these shots in the back were enough to completely shatter the miners with blasting charges here. So, I'm going to pull through my own great sword and flagellants and have these guys get shot in the back by those outriders. I'm going to have these outriders start shooting into these miners' flank here. So I did a rear charge on these Thunderers with my Reichsguard. I'm going to be pulling out with them. Got these great swords fighting these Iron Breakers and these Miners, so not a great position for them. But these great swords are doing a pretty good job against these Miners and Longbeards over there. So I'm going to do some rear charges over here. Get a pretty good charge into these Iron Breakers. Get a fair amount of damage. And I'm going to be positioning my Outriders so they can start shooting up these Iron Breakers. So my opponent thinks that these Iron Breakers are fully engaged with these Spearmen, and this happens to me a lot. But they are actually not, so they're not doing too much. Going to got a nice big Earthblood right here while everyone was grouped up, and I'm going to be pulling these guys back. I keep on trying to get orders for these guys to shoot, but since these guys are nearby, or in their line of sight, they're just going to start running toward them, so I'm going to have to wait until the Reichsguard are out of the way. I see this fight over here really needs some help. We got a really healthy group of Iron Breakers over here, so I'm going to send Franz back here. I did have him go chase off his lord off the map, so that's where Franz has been. I'm going to have these guys come in for some charges, and also going to do a charge right here, even though these great swords are doing really good. Over here is where I'm really failing. These Iron Breakers are finally turning around now, so they will get some... oh, no, they're not. So they're still pretty bugged. He still thinks they're engaged, but they are not. And now I'm getting some shots into the side and from the back, so that's really good. I think he actually does have shield cover from this angle. I'm not 100% sure. So I'm ping-ponging back and forth with my Reichsguard between these two groups. And as you can see, we did rat off the Miners, and now that the Iron Breakers are isolated, they're not doing too good. So I'm going to just keep on ping-ponging against them. And at this point, his army is going to hit army losses and rout off. So, a glorious victory for the Empire. Didn't even have to use the Balthasar Gelt and Witch Hunter thing. Though that wouldn't have been too great here just because of how spread out he is. So, yeah guys, if you want to counter that, just spread out, don't blob up. And maybe get something in the air to hunt down Gelt. It's really not that hard. Anyway, let's look at the breakdown. Is it, well, if it's something to be nerfed, I think that there should be a cap of like 4 on the accusations. Anyway, I think Gelt actually needs a buff overall. He definitely is. As you can see, these great swords got absolutely murdered by that organ gun and those blasting charges. Same with these great swords, with these two. If you let great swords do their thing against things like miners, then they'll be great. Of course, they are fighting miners. You gotta remember that. Anyway, the Outriders did a great job at destroying these Longbeards and just distracting my opponent. Reichsguard actually were able to get in and do some really good work. He didn't have any Wrath and Ruin, so that really helped me in this regard. I feel like if he did, these Reichsguard would have just been Wrath and Ruin and absolutely destroyed by Slayers. His organ gun over here, 102 kills, great, absolutely fantastic pick. Those are mostly on great swords too, so, oh man, that thing is so brutal. As you can see, my Flagellants do pretty well, and you might think of not bringing Flagellants wouldn't be good in this matchup, but they do pretty well against Dwarf Warriors and Miners, so I like to bring them, not to mention they are unbreakable. So I had Karl Franz and the Empire Captain here as a little goon squad because I find a lot of time killing Dwarf Lords is very difficult. My plan was obviously to use Earthblood and all of Karl Franz's AoE abilities to just get these guys jacked and go after one Lord, and it worked out pretty well in this case. This definitely wasn't the most, wasn't the best Dwarven army, most competitive, but I did really like it. So it's a very wide one. Like I said, 6 miners. He has 3 miners with blasting charges. Longbeards, great weapons. Very diverse. I like it. His Thunderers, unfortunately, didn't get much done, but his cannon got some good kills on the Outriders. Not that they were too effective. But in any case, it was a fun game. I really enjoyed playing that Buthigabor, and I hope to see you on later again. That's going to be all for this one, guys. This is JonTaun for Total Brohammer, signing out.